In this video, we're going to take a look at some basics for your website. One of the big ones that you'll be doing a lot of um, is adding new posts, which are the blog feature to the website, which give us our news articles whenever you click on the news page. In order to do that, if we scroll down here to the bottom, we'll be using the back end of your website. We're using WordPress, and that back end is known as Dashboard. So we've got a link here at the bottom. When we click on that, that'll take us to the login page. And here at the login page, you'll just enter your username and your password. And depending on the level of access you have, will give you different permissions, different security rights as to what role you have for editing and managing the website. Okay, so I've logged in, and this is the back end, the dashboard. Keep in mind that as the website is updated, WordPress is updated, and again, depending on what security role you have, your screen may look a little different. But this is the back end dashboard, and what we're going to look at primarily for the purposes of this training is post. If I highlight with my cursor here on post, it gives me several different options. All post, add new, categories, and tags. Before we create a new post, I think the first thing we should do is look at categories. So we're going to click on categories. And this gives us a new menu for categories. Anytime you want to make a new post, a news article, it's always a good idea to assign it to a category. That just kind of helps it organize on the site, helps with your internet searches and things like that. So if you look over here on the right, I've already created several different categories, and this may not cover everything you want. And that's no big deal. It's real easy to add a new one. Right here where it says name, we can just type in whatever we wanted to use as our new category name. I'll just type in new as an example. And then once we're done, if you wanted to, you can put a description down here. I usually don't. And then you can click add new category. Once you do that, it'll show up over here on this menu, and that'll give us an option when we create a new post. So let's go back over here to the left, and we're going to click on all posts just so we can see what that looks like. And I've put in one post so far for the whole website that says under construction. But every news article, new post that you do will show up in here, and it'll tell you who did it, what category it belongs to, and if we wanted to go back and edit it, we have that option by moving our mouse here. We can just click on edit, or if we decide, hey, I don't want that on my site anymore, you can just click trash. But also from this menu up here at the top, we can also add a new one. So we'll go ahead and do that, add new. Okay, so here's our tools for creating a new post. The first thing that you're always going to do is type in the title. So here's our title. This is training. The second thing that you always want to do is come over here to those categories we just looked at and assign it a category. Blog, that always means it's going to show up in the news. Even if you use one of these other ones, unless you've configured your options to be different on the website, any of these would still show up in there. But we can use these here, these category tags, to actually populate a page if we wanted to show just stuff for that one category. But that's something that's more advanced. For our purposes, I'm just going to click blog. The other thing we want to look at is this area right here. If you're familiar at all with Microsoft Windows products such as Office, Word, Excel, we have all these tool icons usually at the top, and that's basically what this is. It works a lot the same way as Microsoft's products. And they call this the kitchen sink. With this menu here, we can have a lot of different options in how our stuff looks. Bold, italics, adjust the font size is kind of done here. Since this is a web page, we have pre-formatted options here for how large your text is. But that's something you can play with kind of down the road, and we'll have some more videos that'll kind of highlight that a little bit. But generally, you're going to be working in what's called the visual mode. So if we look at this tab here, we're currently looking at visual. If you want to get more advanced in what they call HTML language, which is the actual core coding of the page, you'd click on text and see how this menu has changed for us a little bit. This is where we can kind of tweak it a little bit with some of that code as we get more advanced in understanding how to do the page. But primarily, we'll just use the visual side. And so you have this text area here, and you just type in. So we've got our title. It creates a page name right here based off that title. We put in our text. We've added a category. Another option that we have below categories is called tags. And within this little window here, we could type in a word. Each time I type in a word and hit enter, it's going to give that as a tag that kind of helps with the search option. So if you have an article that you're writing that you think people would search for, you want to think of those keywords that they might use when they're searching and add those there. And that just, like I said, that just helps with the searches. And there's a lot of additional features here that we're not going to get into in this video, but one of them that you definitely want to look at is the set featured image. When you look at your news page, it can be kind of plain if all you saw was a bunch of text that kind of is a preview of the article. What this featured image does is it allows us to insert a little thumbnail picture out to the side of the article and kind of gives users something to look at. So we'll click set featured image. And what you're seeing right now is called the media library, and it's already got images that I've uploaded and used within the site. And again, when you look at this video, that may look totally different from what you actually have on the site. We also can go over here and upload an image. So if we have something on our computer somewhere that we want to use for that, we would do that. We come over here and hit select files, and that'll let us browse our computer, and you can, just like you're doing anything else within Windows looking for a file, you could pick any one in here that you wanted. I think I'm just going to grab this icon here. Once it loads, the thing that you got to remember to do, you don't really have to worry too much about filling this information out, but down here you want to hit set featured image. If you don't click that, it won't actually insert that as part of the article. And once it's inserted, you'll see it show up here under the featured image area. And now that we're completed with our article, we would just go over here and make sure that you always click publish. Okay, our article is published. One of the things that I always like to do after it's published is go look at it. One of the features of the dashboard here, if you look up here in the left corner, it says Tour Connorsville. When I put my mouse over that cursor has this drop down menu that says visit site. If you click that, that's going to take you straight to the site off this page. I like to right click and bring up the option to open it either in a new tab or a new window so my dashboard's still open. So I open in a new tab, and that just loaded up our page. So we're back to the home page of the site, and we want to go look at this article that we just published. So we're going to click on news, and here you see that it's posted that new article that we just created with the featured image. It'll give you a little bit of information here about the article, kind of a promo. It usually will take so many words, and then you click on the read more to actually get to the article. And then here we are with the article. And right here is the paragraph that we typed, and then we also have these features here where we can share it throughout all the different social media sites that are out there. But one of the things that we're going to go back and look at is it's kind of boring just seeing this paragraph. So I want to show you how we can actually insert an image into the article itself. So since we have these two tabs still open here, two pages, we're going to go back to our dashboard page. And I've got my paragraph here that I typed, and I want to add a picture. I'm just going to click Add Media. And this is very similar to setting that featured article or the featured image. It brings up the pictures that you already have. You've got several different options over here on the left to select from. This FIA gallery, that's where our photo albums are going to be. So you could even go in there and pull one of those out. Or again, we can go back and we can upload something. Or we can just use one that we already have. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll just go ahead and let's insert something that we already have, like news. So when I click that over here, it gives me these options where I can align it where I want. I can put it to the left, the center, the right. If I put none, it really has to do with how the text goes around it. So I think I'm going to put mine to the left. And then the option here, if somebody clicks on that picture, what do you want them to do with that? If they click on it, it can make the picture bigger. It could take it to a whole nother place on your site simply by changing the address here. Generally, I just click on none, so it doesn't do anything. And then here you can adjust the size. So if you wanted it to be really small, a thumbnail would be good, or medium, something that kind of stood out on the page. And then there's full size, which generally you're not going to use that because that's just too big. And in this one, I think I'll just click on medium. We'll click insert to into post. If you don't click that, it won't be added. And here we see that it inserted and it's to the left of our text. So once I've made that change, I come over here to the right and I click on update. And now our page is updated. We can go back to the story here and refresh that page. And then we see that that picture's been added. So that concludes this video. It's very basic, but as you progress in your training, you'll start seeing that a lot of WordPress works the same way. That's one of the things that's really nice about it. The tools are pretty much the same for everything that you want to do within the site.